What did the last few months consist of for you? Like, what were you kind of focused on when you weren't able to do the normal stuff with the players that you do at other times of year?
Yeah, I was just focused on still taking advantage of the limited time and hours we do have.
Yeah.
And really a lot of it was, spring recruiting, getting out to camps, but you're still building things behind the scene with both your staff, and you still have limited time now that's a little bit different than it was, 10 years ago as far as in the summers. So you're still able to grow with your current guys as well as, building towards the future with what you're doing, both spring recruiting and, reviewing cut-ups, finalizing installs, everything that way.
Yeah. And what's your, now that you've had some distance from the spring and been able to sort of process everything, the new team, new quarterbacks, all that stuff, what's your kind of sense of where you're at relative to maybe kind of, your comfort level of where you want to be, by the end of, let's say, camp?
No, I feel very good about the progress we've made. And you can feel the progress that the players already have made from the end of spring until now. And a lot of that's work on their own. With the limited time you have with them, you can see that. You can see the game slowing down for them within our system. You can see things that way. You can see what Coach Conley and his staff is doing with these guys.
For sure.
And, the weight and the strength and, the certain things that are improving. So I'm very excited. I mean, you're never a finished product, so it's like you're always striving for more and more. But as far as the timeline on when we got here in January and where guys are right now, we're on a really, really nice trajectory. But the minute you know how it is, the minute you feel like, or
you're safe or you're
can't get flat. Can't get flat. You got to keep on pushing with that mindset, like it's day one.
Yeah. I talked to Trenton yesterday. He was saying he feels a lot better now than he has in a very long time, dealing with the foot, obviously.
Right.
So in the spring, I mean, he's coming off of surgery and he's just sort of reincorporating. Was it hard to get like a full sense of like what he could do at 100% in the spring for you, or did you feel like you already had a pretty good idea?
No, I can't say. You never have the idea you want until you're around them in person. It's like I watch film on all these guys.
Right.
So in fairness, I still need to see anybody in person.
Yeah.
So in where he was during the spring, I absolutely think he's going to be in a better spot than wherever he was. So it's not like he did not perform well in the spring.
Yeah.
It just means that whatever it was, I know there's other layers that he can take his game to, just because he was coming off. It's not just coming off the injury, it's what the injury prevented you from doing for the 3 months before that.
The strength development portion, the legs, how that impacts the throw.
Exactly. So even if the injury, it's all the way healed, okay, but that doesn't take away that for the last 3 months you weren't truly able to get your foundation and your base like most guys are able to do January, February, March. It's a big strength, and it's a big strength month. Not really conditioning. Conditioning is more on the back end. That's a big bulk month, strength month, or it's not a month, 3 months period. Yeah.
So do you feel like we can expect to see like more pop on his throws, more mobility and some of the movement stuff that you guys do and all that?
Absolutely. I mean, and like I said, his timing is so elite that even at times, if he maybe didn't feel 100% driving it, he still understood the timing.
Because he gets the ball out so quickly.
Gets out and throws guys open. But to allow him to be stronger than he was, let's say, in that month of April, when we hit now the month of August, it's just going to allow him that much more of an ability to, one, be able to, you'll see more drive on certain throws, and two, it allows you in those times where you might be a little bit late or a little bit more off platform.
Sure.
Just have more of that skookum to make some of those throws.
Yeah, and obviously you're gonna have a quarterback competition, but he completed over 70% last year. Bo Nix completed over 70% at Oregon last year. The only two in the Pac-12, both coached by Kenny, then and now. Does that give you a certain comfort, you know, like, and obviously you work with him, so now you know what you're going to get from in terms of him getting the ball out, completing a high percentage, all those things. Like, how does it feel knowing, okay, like that's the minimum maybe that you have the ability to get out of your quarterback position?
Well, it just feels really good to know that you've got a returning guy, like you said, that was that efficient. And, I'm lucky enough to work for a head coach that, let's be honest, I mean, not just last year. You can go back before that. But if you were just taking last year as an example, took a guy that had never even been close to 70% and got him there.
Yes.
So the combination of knowing what, as a play caller, as offense coordinator, what I'm lucky enough to come into. And again, we're talking about Trenton, but man, that room in general,
right.
Because I just want to make sure they all showed the ability, especially as we went through spring and it became more comfortable, to be able to understand and execute, truly the efficiency within what we can do offensively.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm fortunate because I'm already picking up so much stuff, being around Coach Dillingham.
Yeah.
And I'm able to coach a room that I believe can handle that type of expectation.
Yeah.
And that type of mindset. We are going to be the type of offense that completes 70% of their passes.
You have really impressive weapons that you can throw the ball to. And guys with speed and the ability to get vertical. How important is being able to access that to keeping defenses honest and allowing you guys to do all the things that you want underneath of coverage?
Oh, very important. To me, almost everything ultimately that you're doing is set up first by being a threat vertical.
Okay.
There's really not, once you're not a threat vertical, it takes away all of your horizontal game.
Yeah.
And I know people, you can get crafty, and forever the Patriots were very horizontal with the exception.
Sure.
And you want to build your offense around your tools, both your QB, your backs, your receivers, but ultimately, it is important to be able to attack teams vertically and to be able to do that at a high level. Doesn't mean, though, that it has to be, 7-step drop, take a hitch, and throw it 60.
Yeah.
Vertical can be a lot of different things. Vertical can be 2 balls that are completed at 25 to 30 yards.
Right.
Vertical can be seam routes looking off the safety.
Yeah.
Those still give you, and that's, and that's the mindset of then saying, okay, we're still going to be able to attack people downfield because we have to, and we should, and it's what we believe in, and it's what Coach Dillingham believes in. But how are we going to do it? May it look a little different than other teams who might do it with long play action, turn your back to the defense, and take the home run shot. It just might be just good look a little different.
And what do you think about what you've seen from your quarterback's ability to connect on those in the way that you want within your scheme?
I think again, it's been improving mightily, both through spring ball and even through the limited time we've had them. So we've got steps to go. Yeah. But the gains we've made since we were first installing some of these thoughts, some of these ideas, so I'm very excited about it.
What things kind of stand out the most to you about Drew after working with him through the spring and summer?
Drew's, one of his biggest qualities, I believe, is his ability to react to things post snap, and he's got a very quick arm.
Yes.
And I think people sometimes they talk about arm strength, and that's important. Don't get me wrong, but it's as much as anything, it's arm speed. So whenever someone says a quick release, a lot of people's releases are the same length, but it's that speed of that time.
Yeah.
Like Aaron Rodgers is elite arm speed from the time he wants to throw. It might be just as long of a semicircle as other guys, but so that's where I think one of Drew's biggest strengths is, in my opinion, when he has a reaction or a set and a reset to something, he can do it at a high level. And he can make a lot of those throws. And there are a lot of the same throws we're talking about that fit within our system. Okay. So I get excited about that and I get excited about the fact you're talking about those two guys that have played some college football. Right. Played some college football at a high level, and Drew won a lot of games, as a starter. Obviously, Trenton was 70+% as a starter, so it's exciting to be working with those two guys, and they're both awesome to coach.
You've seen, coming from your background, you've seen a lot of guys like a Cam Scatabo, Xavier Guillory, them specifically, the talent at that level, how do you feel like that sort of projects to the Pac-12? And also, are they probably, not getting the type of attention that they might warrant or deserve, just given how good they were, but at a level that people didn't pay nearly as much attention to nationally?
Well, I don't really know if they're not getting attention now. I feel like some people are
locally, for sure.
Yeah. So and I think both of them would tell you they have to earn things at every level. Just like we all do. So, but to sit here and if you're asking me what I thought about them as players, both. And I was up against them in live in person. They can play at any level.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times the case with that. And that's not a knock on it. That's nothing. That's just the fact that recruiting's not a science. How guys develop between 18, 19, and 20, it's not a science. You don't always know.
Right.
So it's a lot of times, the comment will always be made, oh, how did they let so-and-so slip or this or that? Well, when he was 16 or 17, no one could have seen that. Just different guys develop late, and that's just sometimes how it goes. But as far as how they're football players, they're really good football players, and they have to earn it though. They have to come in here and compete. And the game is obviously at this level. I mean, every part of it's just a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. But at the end of the day, that's the least of my concern.